Hi, welcome back to Mrs. Harrington's art class. Today we're going to be looking at a Japanese art form called Notan. It literally means in Japanese light-dark harmony, and it is typically made with black and white materials. Unfortunately, in my own home, I actually don't have any black and white papers, but I do have white printer paper, which you can use at home. I also have, I had some scraps of construction paper, and even though it's not black, blue will work just fine. You will definitely need a pair of scissors, a pencil, and either a glue stick. You can use tape, or possibly even Elmer's glue works just fine. So right now I'm going to ask you to cut, if you don't already have it cut, we're going to be looking at positive and negative shapes. And so when I'm looking here, this is a positive shape. This is the shape that we actually have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to get a piece of paper approximately either 4 inches by 4 inches or 5 inches by 5 inches, whatever you have. You can be kind of creative here. And what we're going to do, and I'm going to use a Sharpie just so that you're able to see it better with the camera. I'm going to have you draw very simple shapes on each side of your square. So you're going to want to keep them as simple as possible because you're going to be cutting these out, and you don't want to have anything too complicated where it might be difficult for you to cut these out. And I'll keep those very simple here. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting out these lines and following as you go, trying to stay as close as you can to your original design. I am going to cut these out while you are cutting yours out, and I'm going to ask you to pause the video at any time if you need to go ahead and take a break, or if I'm going too fast for you. I want to make sure that you have enough time to cut out your shapes. And do not lose those shapes. You need those to complete the next step of our Notan. And I'm going to make this nice curved edge here. I try to make this look a little bit like a shark's mouth. I don't think that's how it came out though. Alright, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and keep those. I'm going to keep that piece there. Don't lose it. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my remaining 2 pieces, one on either side of my square shape. And as I move through, you'll notice, here's my 3rd shape, I have a little bit of my black Sharpie showing. I would recommend at home, if you can use a pencil to do your shapes, it won't show when you're making finished art piece. But I think for my sample, I think this is a great work. So we're going to put our scissors down now. We don't need that anymore. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our original square that we had, and I'm going to do it in, I'll do it in this format, make it look like it's facing this way. And I'm going to reassemble it. I'm actually going to put the pieces back where I cut them out of to begin with. And it's kind of like a little bit of a puzzle piece. You kind of cut yourself some puzzle sections here. And you'll notice it all fits back into place, which means I didn't do too bad of a job. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to start with this piece right here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be demonstrating, we're going to be flipping this over as if it is a line of symmetry where the actual outline of our square was. And so if I flip this side, and you'll see that I will begin, whoops, drop that one, let's flip that one back over. You'll notice I'm beginning to see my positive, which is the blue, and my negative, which is the white spaces in here, are still giving me my outline and shape of that original square I had. So now, to wrap this up, you are going to go in, and I like to start with my center shape first. Just go ahead and glue those down, or tape. If you only have tape, that works too. And you can use any colors. Like I said, I picked blue. The traditional Japanese art of paper cutting is with the black and white shapes. You may go ahead and add that if you have it. If you don't, that is fine. Colors work just well, as you can see. This does well. And you want to kind of line up the edges. There we go. And you want to just flip it right on the side here. All right, let's finish this one up. Oh no, I'm running out of glue stick. Oh my goodness, we'll make this work. Okay, here we go. I have just enough for my last piece, which is lovely. And, whoops, I left my glue stick part right there. Okay, now I have my perfect example of Japanese notan. Now, here's the fun part. I started you off with a very simple square shape, but here I started experimenting, and I can give you some examples of other shapes. So this one is a rectangle, and you can see that I kept my shapes fairly simple. If you are really looking for something new, you can try a triangle. You can see my positive and negative shapes are forming my triangle shape. Now, these shapes all work really well because they have these nice crisp edges, all three shapes that I'm showing you. But if you do choose to really challenge yourself, and the red and white for Japan was unintentional, but I like the way that it came out. I did it with another shape. I went ahead and I traced the bottom of a planter, actually. It was just a little planting cup. And what I did was I learned that when you're doing another shape that has organic curves to it, you need to make sure that you don't go too far, or else you lose the positive and negative shape of your circle. So you are going to be experimenting, I hope, with some new shapes. But let's go back to take a look at our original square. And this is our Japanese notan. I look forward to seeing what you're going to be creative with. And maybe you can find other ways to add color to it as well. So as always, I look forward to seeing it, and be creative.